Wow, guys, only Horikoshi can make a chapter so hype, and it's not even action, it's just plain setup. So this chapter of Boku no Hero Academia 135, we actually get the truth about Eri. Now, I know you guys, a lot of us, we were discussing it. We basically got it on a wrap. We basically got it correct, and that was how Overhaul is using Eri's blood, you know, using Eri's quirk to create these bullets. And yeah, we were bang on, we were correct, and that's what was happening from this chapter. But wow, this chapter had info bombs. It had, like, honestly, I can't tell you how amazing Horikoshi is as to be an artist. Like, Horikoshi, he's so great in his drawing, especially in his drawing of emotions. This chapter with Mirio and Deku, like, when you see them realize what they've actually done wrong, and I'm using the word wrong very loosely because, yeah, we'll get into that later on in the video. But when Mirio and Deku realize what they've done and they realize about Eri, the way Horikoshi draws it, like, sweat dripping and everything, I was like, bro, that's giving me the chills. And also Fat Gum in this chapter as well, when he breaks the sweets and he's like, it's a quirk that can destroy quirks. I was like, yo, the artwork in this chapter is amazing. The shading around the people's eyes and all that kind of stuff, it was just phenomenal, and it really did get across those emotions, and it was just awesome. So I really think we don't actually talk about that enough in Boku no Hero Academia. I know we talk about the artwork a lot, but we don't really put much emphasis on Horikoshi's drawing, mainly on the facial emotions and the facial characteristics, because Horikoshi is, like, you know, top notch of them. So it was pretty cool. So yes, guys, how is it going on? I'm here to do a review on 135. Now, this chapter had info drops about, you know, Eraserhead coming in telling us all about the whole quirks and the origin. I didn't see that coming. We got a freaking, like a social media for the pros. What else? We got Overhaul, his true quirk, you know, the assembling and disassembling, which is pretty lit, not gonna lie. And we basically found out the main reason of this arc. So the main arc is a rescue arc. Guys, we got a rescue arc. That is kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. You can kind of argue that Bakugo, you know, the whole All Might Kamino was Bakugo rescue arc. But I'd say the focus was mainly All Might and All for One. So this is basically the first, pardon me, first main rescue arc in this series. Obviously, guys, we knew it was gonna come. It's just shonen, like, you know, Weekly Shonen Jump love that rescue kind of arc in their series. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. But it's really awesome. And that last spread page, man, when, you know, Mirio and Deku stand up, it just shows you how similar they are. And it's, wow, it's just, I'm hyped. I know a lot of people are saying from this chapter that Mirio, you know, this is the start of Mirio going down into the darkness. Like, Mirio's going to become like a villain because he was annoyed at his shortcomings. And I'm just going to get up the page because what did he say? This is what he said. He was like saying how is my name? My name's, what was I talking about? Million, that saves 1 million people. How can I do that? And obviously Deku was just like, and I think to call myself the greatest hero, stuff like that. And it just shows you that how similar they are, and they realize what they went wrong. Now, we've discussed this. We discussed this when the chapter came out, when we did see Eri, and we were discussing, was Deku in the right or was Mirio in the right? And we're not really going to dive into that much because we've already discussed all of that kind of stuff. But I think it's kind of important to address the fact is that whether you think Deku did was in the right or whether you think Mirio was in the wrong, regardless of that, both the two characters, both of these people, they had a realization that maybe they should have done something different, and they're working. Now they're working, you know, to improve that. So they shows you that that's a hero, man. That's in the hero blood, because they're like, okay, how can I do this? Like, how could I have fallen so short, fallen so far, you know? And they realize their shortcomings, and they want to do right by it. They want to rectify that situation. So I thought that was pretty awesome. And, you know, that last page was just lit, because we now find out, obviously, the main point of this arc is to rescue Eri. Now, I'm extremely excited by this, but obviously, I want you guys to remember, it may be chapter 129, but don't put me on that. Don't you know, quote me on that. It was when Deku first met Overhaul, and Deku said, in my long relationship, you know, with Overhaul, Mirio, and that first began, or, you know, Night Eye. So we know that this arc is going to be long. And yes, it is a rescue arc of rescuing Eri, but the words that Gran Torino said, how sorry for you to get stuck up in this annoying situation, it makes me think that, you know, the Villain Alliance is going to be extremely involved with this. Shigaraki is going to be extremely involved with this arc, because obviously the Villain Alliance right now is kind of in alliance with Overhaul, and as it's the Villain Alliance, that brings in Susakachi. I probably pronounced that name wrong, but you know, it's brought him and Gran Torino into the fold, and I really like that. He's brought out heroes which will be helpful to him. Brought out heroes which will be relevant. So he weren't just getting for the top heroes. Like, that's why we didn't probably see Endeavor there, because maybe he just wasn't relevant to the case. He brought in people like Eraserhead, because Eraserhead's quirk, like, it's similar. You get what I mean? Fat Gum, because he used to work very closely with the police in this kind of in this ring of, you know, drugs and all that kind of stuff. So Fat Gum's got that. He has that intelligence. He's got that intel that he can help and that he can offer to the team. So I think it's pretty cool. Now, this is just a little quick thing that I want to say. That guy is an absolute... The guy triggers me. You guys know who I'm talking about. The one with the glasses, and he was always just like, oh, why is he small fry here? You know, get them out. And I'm just thinking, like, who do you think you are? Coming in here thinking you're the top gunner. Like, literally, these are the words of a man who's going to get one-shotted when his arc starts. I'm telling you now. But, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. And in fact, I wouldn't be sad in the slightest, because this guy's already annoying me. But it's pretty cool, you know, that Kirishima's coming in. I love how Kirishima realized that. Kirishima was like to Deku, oh, hang on, seems like you know a lot of people, and I'm just thinking, foreshadowing, you know, is he gonna find out the whole thing about All For One and All Might? Like, that would be kind of hilarious. But you know, it is what it is. But when he said that, it did remind me of what Suyu said, like, right at the start of the series. I know this is a massive tangent, but, you know, Suyu was just like, oh, your quirk is very similar to All Might's, isn't it? And we were just like, what, bro? Like, everyone was just like, oh no, is she gonna find out? But obviously that was just like a one-off comment kind of thing. But yeah, we found out a bit about the quirk kind of thing. And I need to bring up the page, because honestly I probably can't remember the whole thing, and I don't want to quote it incorrectly. Aizawa Sensei comes in and he says basically that his quirk is different to the bullet. Now, the bullet has the ability to attack the quirk, whereas Eraserhead halts the activation of that quirk. So, for example, when you see Eraserhead, you know, erase people's quirk, they try and activate it, but it just doesn't happen. Now, we find out something of a plus alpha factor. A plus alpha is something which basically, if you have it, you've got a quirk. And it's this structure, which, yeah, the plus alpha is what we call a quirk. It's, I'm not a biologist, but it obviously contains the DNA and you know, all of that genetic information for the quirk. And that is what we call the quirk factor. Now, if you, for example, I love how someone with a tail, it made me think straight off at, what is his name? Let me not forget his name. Not Ijiro. Is it Ijiro? Ijiro? I think it's Ijiro, you know, the guy with the tail. Hopefully I haven't forgotten it. But you know, it's all this. Yeah, it really made me think of that. But basically, that's what the bullet does. Now, the bullet inflicts damage on this factor. It attacks it. So when Tamaki got shot, his quirk factor was damaged. But obviously we find out in this chapter that he was able to recover, but his body just naturally heals from it. Whereas Eraserhead's quirk doesn't damage the factor. It just halts it. It's like it stops it from activating. So your brain would be trying to activate, but nothing's happening. Whereas this was an actual damage, an actual attack. So this is kind of scary, because as it was discussed in this chapter, it's not fully completed yet, but that doesn't mean it's going to stay incompleted. Like, come on. Overhaul is going to, you know, perfect it. And remember when he was bringing in Eri into it, he was like, you are the main key for this operation to be a success. So we know Overhaul. Overhaul's a guy who's got a vision. He's not just going to stop an incomplete drug. He wants to fully complete it. Now, in this chapter,
I can't remember who said it, but they said something along the lines of how this evidence, it seems like we're just trying to force this onto the onto Overhaul. Now, yeah, to an extent it kind of is true, because this whole drug thing, other than, you know, before the gigantic, those two people fought, all this evidence, it wasn't really pointing to the Villain Alliance. That's why one of the heroes are saying, not Villain Alliance, sorry, the 8 precepts of death. That's why one of the heroes said, yeah, I'm not really following you. What does this got to do with Overhaul? So I'm kind of intrigued by that, because, yeah, now they've got the slightest shred of evidence that Overhaul's doing something, and that's basically because of Eri. So that's why this whole arc, this is why it's called, basically, it's going to be basically the Rescue Eri arc, and this is going to be phenomenal. Now, I can't wait to see it. So I'm so interested to see that. But, yeah, it's not explicit. For example, like the heroes, they haven't got any evidence that Overhaul's selling these drugs. They've only got evidence of actually him and actually, you know, the 8 precepts. But they've got things which connect the dots, if you kind of see what I mean. But other than that, we got the Hero Network. Now, the Hero Network, we didn't find out much about it, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty cool that they have like a social media kind of thing. It's basically for all the heroes. So it's kind of like LinkedIn, if you guys know what LinkedIn is, like, or like networking kind of thing. Basically like that. Ask for help, you know, get recent reports and all that kind of stuff. And it seems like that's obviously what Night Eye was using it. It said in this chapter, Night Eye was using it in order to bring all these people together. So I'm just so hyped for this, and I found it kind of funny. Someone said a comment, basically. So when basically Overhaul's exploiting his daughter, Overhaul's taking the blood from Eri, because Eri has a quirk which can, you know, destroy other people's quirks. So Overhaul, because in the blood there was human blood cells, and I'm really liking this take. I believe I said it in 2 chapters ago. I was so happy because this can go into darker storylines, and we are getting into that. We are addressing darker themes, you know, of like drugs trafficking. To an extent, yeah, it is child trafficking. To an extent, you could argue. I wouldn't say this explicitly is, because it's not like Eri-chan is getting sold, but she's getting exploited. She's getting, she's probably in hard conditions as well. So this ain't right. We're getting into darker storylines right now, darker themes as well. So I really do respect how Horikoshi doesn't shy away from these themes, and I really do give props to him as well on that. Now, with what I was saying, now, the darker storyline with obviously Overhaul, and I can hear the joke. So Overhaul's basically exploiting his daughter, and then someone said, imagine if Endeavor was there, because obviously Endeavor would be so uncomfortable if he was there, because he was thinking, hang on, you know, I kind of, you know, made a child just for my own game kind of thing. So that would have been kind of hilarious to see. But yeah, man, guys, this chapter was lit, honestly. I cannot wait to see what happens next chapter, the whole rescue, that kind of thing. The arc is pretty much starting like soon, so this is going to be hype. So guys, if you liked anything I say, please drop a like. That will be greatly appreciated. One of the things that did stand out to me, I know I did say kind of jokingly, saying how, yeah, that hero kind of annoyed me with his like pride, you could say, with his attitude, but I really did, I was kind of shocked and surprised to see that kind of that reception from a hero to speak towards the students like that in such a manner. So, you know, I was kind of what's the word, I was kind of, yeah, taken aback by that. I wouldn't have thought to see something like that. But pretty much, this chapter was dedicated to Deku and Mirio, their whole emotions and that. And it's so awesome just to see the contrast between them, but also how similar they are as well. How they've got that self-loathing of what they did to an extent. And the way that Horikoshi brought that emotion out was powerful. It really was. So, I can't wait just to see more of them. And it's just lit. Like that last third page, let me get that up right now, and it says, this time around, Eri-chan will definitely rescue her. And you just see Mirio's face and Deku's, and that's the objective of the arc. So guys, this chapter was amazing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked anything I say, please drop a like, that will be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next week for that greatness that is 136. So, you know what I'm saying? Peace out guys, and goodbye.